everybody, and welcome to Four Weebs, That Anime Podcast, the podcast where we pick some animes and talk about them. My name is Veda. I'm going to be the host for this week. And if you were here for last week's episode, you will notice, or you will remember, that Liam was not here. Liam is back now, so we're going to chat a little bit about Digimon again.
Tadaima!
Okairi!
How was that?
That was good. That was good.
That was very good, man.
Good job.
I think I said it a bit too loud. Hopefully I didn't wake up my neighbors.
Well,
if you did,
sure
welcome
fine.
to the neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, I was away on a vacation last week, and I graciously allowed everybody else to record without me. And then,
Yeah.
And in return, we insulted him while he was gone.
hopefully they'll show me the episode at some point.
It will.
But I watched the anime that they watched last week anyways, which was Digimon Try, the first one. Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, do we want to do quick
Digimon.
introductions of ourselves for any new listeners that should just go back and listen to us from the beginning?
Go to the Digimon
lazy
episode.
bastards.
Watashi wa
Yeah.
Liam desu.
I don't know what any of that
you
means.
should know who I am. Bam.
Wow. Becca, are you okay?
I'm Becca and I'm falling apart because everything's a train wreck.
What happened?
Including my life.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Okay, we're all fine. Back to Digimon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my kind of concluding thoughts on Digimon, which I guess are probably similar to Becca's, is that it was pretty disappointing and it relied too much on Digimon nostalgia and hype, and it was disappointing.
Yeah. That's pretty much...
Had you seen any of it before?
Any Digimon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen little bits of the first season, and then of course I've seen the Digimon movie a couple times. I didn't have cable growing up, so I tried hard to be a really big Digimon fan because I liked it, but unfortunately I could not actually watch a lot of the show. But hey, I tried.
I feel like Liam and I have comparable, childhoods growing up with TV, because that was kind of our issue, we didn't have a lot of that kind of television available in our household at the time, so it was
It was the same deal with Pokemon and all that.
Yeah. So it felt kind of like you're, trying to keep up with everybody else that has cable and can watch all the episodes, and you're like, I know what a Digimon is, sure, yeah, guys, ah!
I feel like this is the reason why I'm the only one who didn't, pretty much hate Digimon Try, because I was just too busy, fangirling the whole time.
I didn't
But even
know.
I'll say it was pretty
the
boring.
whole time I was pretty, stoked to, see Greymon and Metal Greymon, and first of all, barely saw Metal Greymon. I guess in the second part they had most of the transformations, which ate up a lot of time, which I was okay with because that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
But then there was barely any other stuff. That in the fourth episode you finally get another one, and it's the dumb cactus Digimon no one likes. And then, we're gonna turn it to Omnimon again, but, they just have one brief flash of, all of the steps up there, and then, no big transformation sequence, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I had to watch, an hour and a bit of a bunch of high school bullshit, and then all I get is this shitty fight at the end, and then it's over? Come on.
I always loved how, the prettiest flower Digimon turns into this ugly
The
buff
ugliest,
cactus.
stupid thing. They didn't even put any effort into it. It doesn't even
I
have
know.
eyes. It's just holes
I
in its
know.
head.
I know.
It's so infuriating.
Kind of sad.
And I'm because doesn't that cactus one go with Mimi?
Yeah.
I feel like Mimi would be
that's
what the fuck?
Digimon no one likes.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been.
I love it when she's in her just flower form because her voice is the best thing ever.
And she's cute.
She's
It's
so
kind of
cute.
funny how the voice of the cat Digimon is surprisingly deep and adult sounding compared to all the other ones.
That's sometimes the best.
Oh, there's something else I was gonna say, but there's that one. Ty kept having that one flashback to all the collateral damage, and they just did that way too many times in the fourth part. That same flashback happened 4 or 5 times, and it's there was barely any dialogue between between the two of them. So it's almost like it's like they didn't have a lot of budget to actually hire the voice actors, because there's lots of like scenes with them like looking at each other and making like expressive faces, but no sound coming out. And I was like,
this is boring.
I was like, is this done yet? I'd much rather be on YouTube just watching clips of Digimon transformations.
Aww.
And that's what I did when I finished watching it.
Aw. I know last week I was particularly enraged because it felt like I'd wasted like an hour and 20 minutes of my life on it.
Yeah, you were pretty, like, rattled. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, well, and like, in its defense,
it's not the worst thing.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. There was just so many, like, little things that stuck out to me as, like, big issues, and I went on the whole, like, nostalgia rant about paying dues to the fans last week, so I'm not going to get into it again, but I felt like, as a person that was rooting for something good for the fans, it kind of pissed me off. So, yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't need to have the conversation a second time for me, so.
No.
Let's move on to the main course, shall we?
All right.
I agree.
Unless you had something else to say.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
we got our Digimon in.
Yep.
It's all good.
Never again.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, so I ended up I ended up picking the animes for this week. So I went with oh shit, I lost my notes.
Oh god, we're falling apart at the seams.
Quality
so
radio.
My cat's running around in the background throwing a fit.
It's a great episode today, guys. Don't worry. I had a theme. My theme was action, comedy, sci-fi, parody, because both of the shows that I picked were under these categories for some reason.
Lies.
I'd like it to be noted that I think Veda slipped me drugs, because that's the only way that what I saw makes sense.
Oh, you're welcome.
God.
So the animes that I picked, the good anime was Gintama, and the bad anime was Oh Super Milk-chan, which Leah and Liam watched, and I forgot to say, but me and Becca watched Gintama. And I was thinking we could go with the bad anime first today.
Oh, thank
so
God.
if you guys want to take that on, go right ahead.
Like
Do you want to give a description? Anyone?
Oh, right.
Liam? Anyone?
Beta, you do it.
I have the big paragraph. I don't know if it's accurate at all to what you watched, but it's just It's just the Milk-chan is a drooling potty-mouthed baby who lives in an apartment with an obsolete robot named Tetsuko, a slug named Hanage, and an uncontrollable pet named Robodog. Whenever the president calls, Milk-chan and the gang rush to the scene to solve any type of problem, whether it's stopping a money counterfeiter hungry for Belgian waffles or counseling a school of drunk fish. At the same time, they have to avoid a nagging landlord as they're 6 months behind their rent. That's all it says.
Isn't everyone in every anime always behind on their rent?
Yeah, they literally are.
Yeah.
Because, nobody has a job. Yet they're all,
What the hell? Who's programming my Nintendos?
I haven't found that with anime.
Wow.
But I think that's because a lot of the anime I've watched, the characters have been high school students.
You've gotten kind of muffly on me, Liam. Sorry.
Me too.
Am I still muffly?
You're better now. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a drooling baby?
Must have been a glitch in the Matrix. So yeah, Super Milk-chan was, after, watching the 3 episodes, it kind of became a bit clearer that it's, trying to be intelligent and satirical. There's lots of references from other animes, which was pointed out to me because I watched a fan sub of it, and he put subtitles on the top every time there was a reference to something specific.
Yeah, me too.
That's helpful.
So, because it was really hard to find anywhere else.
It was a really hard show to find.
I know.
You had to look around a decent amount. I think I ended up watching it on YouTube.
That's where I
that's where I watched it.
You know,
there's the first episode, and then there was the last 2 episodes we watched. And I remember thinking in the second episode, all of a sudden, I was like, I thought this was a kid's show, but unless the dub I'm watching is not what it's supposed to be.
I watched the sub for it.
I thought it was supposed to be a kid's show as well. It's not.
But it's a pretty shitty adult show because it's trying to be intelligent and make all these clever jokes, but at the same time on the surface being dumb and bizarre.
Is
But,
It kind of reminds me of something that they would have played like back in the day on like YTV and Teletoon, like
Yeah.
almost like that's a good comparison. Like Invader Zim meets like
yeah, except Invader Zim's so much better.
I love Invader Zim, but
I'd like to inject really quickly. Super Milk Chan, the one that precedes this series, did come out in about 2005 or so, because I remember reading about it in a magazine.
mhm.
So it is.
I hope I watched the
aged
right one.
kind of.
Oh, you probably did. I couldn't the original that came before Oh Super Milk Chan. When I was looking at stuff, I like couldn't find it anywhere.
Mhm.
So, and it was supposed to be like way older or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was really weird. So I just picked this one.
I might have an episode of the old one like kicking around somewhere on a disc.
Mm-hmm.
On a disc. I'll look for it. Yep, that's all I have to say.
Do that.
So
Next
Liam, did
party.
you watch them? Did you watch them all in the sub?
Yeah,
Okay,
because it's
so-
just like YouTube auto-played them, so I was like,
Yeah, so I watched the first one in the sub, and then the last two I could only like get to from the dub, or they were just the
Oh.
ones that popped up for me.
I didn't even know
apparently
there
in the
and-
dub they change a lot of the writing to be like more North American references, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but the one that really got me and how I knew this is not a kids show, it was like, okay, well, first off, the show like goes from animation, and then it'll like interject with like random live action bits. It'll just be like
Oh, yeah,
pictures
the
of like Japanese
browning-
crowds walking
Browning
and stuff.
mushrooms and butter.
Yeah.
Weird.
But there was this one shot, and I think it was in the second episode, and it was just this like temple and this old man walking by, or no, it was some guy doing yoga in front of a fountain. I don't know.
Oh, I think they changed those in the English dub as well.
Oh, well,
Anyways, continue.
mine was this guy standing in front of a fountain, like doing his stretching, and they're like, "Are you in love? Because it's the year of the rooster, so that means this year is guaranteed to be full of cock." I was like, what? Like, I had to like, rewind it, and I was like,
What?
was that what I thought it was? Yeah.
I follow my laughter with a solid fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That's the best joke I've heard come from the show so far.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it was just a really bizarre show that was trying to be more clever than it should
Actually
be, I
was.
guess.
Yeah.
The worst part was just like the voice acting for
Yes.
Milk Chan was really, really obnoxious.
She's like this girly, obnoxious, yet really monotone, like, character. It's weird.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the pacing of the dialogue in the show is just
Mhm.
like really steady, constant, monotone.
Weird.
Yeah.
And that's the same for both, like, the dub and the sub. Like, it's just weird.
That's really
It's
It's like there's
unfortunate.
constant dialogue like back and forth. There's not a lot of real breaks. And it's just like really annoying.
And, like, there's no
And then
point to, like, any of it.
The president is pretty like
Ugh.
pretty
Like-
annoying too.
Oh.
Half of the 3 episodes is literally just, like, Milk Chan and the president having these, like, pointless bantering conversations while meanwhile the plot is happening somewhere else. If you even want to call it plot.
Yeah, there's barely plot.
Like, the most plot is in the 3rd episode where, like, a ship sinks that was full of wine, and now all the, like, fish are, like, drunk, and Milk Chan has to go and, like, give them all therapy. Because they're all, like,
Drinking?
alcoholics. And, like, it sounds funny, but it's, like, not.
It's not funny.
like, at all.
It's just boring.
Oh.
And then there was the one part that really made me go, like, where are the drugs is, like, all of a sudden, it just, like, cuts to this part where there's all these characters that look like they're from the KKK, and they're just, like, standing in the screen.
Oh
and I
my
don't know
god,
what to
yeah, I
talk
forgot about
And
that.
I'm just
Oh
like,
my god.
It's like it wasn't subtle at all. It was literally just a bunch of KKK members.
Literally.
And then they decapitate the mayor. And
What?
then the mayor has to like chase his head down a hill as it's rolling
Oh.
down. And he's like, I can't catch me.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
That
Mhm.
is, yeah. Strange.
Yeah, and it's like all the, like, for the dub I watched anyway, all the, like, live action parts they put in will be, like, either this man or this woman, like, talking about love and stuff like that.
Why?
And then they'll finish off with, like, a crude comment.
Okay.
Like the girl at the
The
end,
live
like,
action
I'm horny.
parts-
What?
Live action
What?
parts in mine were like they were different footage each time. Well, like it was usually just some random candid footage of like a Japanese avenue or street.
Yeah, that's what a lot of
And-
them are into.
Every single one was titled "Browning Mushrooms and Butter,"
Okay.
And honestly, like, it was really hard to watch this show, and I just kind of droned out a lot of the
this was
actual
the
words.
worst
I don't
ever.
remember what they're talking about.
Oh no,
Aw.
it was painful.
It was
So-
pretty.
That's unfortunate. Because
And then, like, sorry.
all you can ask for is a bad anime where at least you can have fun making fun of it.
No.
Yeah.
Like Gundam SD.
Yeah, but it sounds like this one didn't even have that kind of potential.
It was just weird. Like,
It could have been a good show.
yeah, it actually could have
but
been.
I
like,
don't know what they needed to do to make it good.
Mm. Yeah.
I think if they just reeled it in a little bit and tried to put a little more structure in the plot-ish. I don't know, like, you'd have to watch it because you can see what they're going for, but it just doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe it's funnier for Japanese people. I don't know.
Maybe, but it doesn't even seem like something that has Japanese humor. It's just weird.
Well, remember when we watched
No idea.
Bobobo, and that ended up being the type of humor it was, where it was really reference heavy and pun heavy, but because it doesn't translate to English.
No, but even Bobobo, I feel, made more sense in
Well.
regard to Japanese humor than this one did.
Jeez, and Bobobo sucked ass.
Yeah, so
Oh.
yeah.
I'm sorry it was so painful.
Yeah, you should be sorry.
And then the mayor
I
always
had
has
to, though.
flies around him.
Yeah, well, the mayor's supposed to be a parody of a Japanese hillbilly farmer guy.
Oh,
Oh.
So yeah.
alright.
Hey, you
It's
shut
just weird. And I knew it was gonna be weird because the first episode, the intro song, it just starts off with Milk Chan singing about putting lipstick on,
Okay.
stuff like that, and I'm just like, what?
Do you
What kind
think?
of show is this?
Do you think if you were in a different mood, or if you were watching it with a bunch of people, you might enjoy it more?
I feel like it's one of those shows where you're
Well-
drunk with your friends at 2 a.m, you watch one episode, make fun of it, and then go, okay, we're done. As
Yeah.
soon as your attention
There's better
span
shows
stops,
to watch when you're drunk with your
Yeah.
friends. Unless you want to get collectively angry.
mm-hmm. Yep.
To enjoy getting angry with other people.
And then
You wanna
just have
torture
a big
people.
anger and hate fueled orgy afterwards.
Hey,
God.
those Roman blood orgies start somehow.
Super
Yeah,
Milk
they started with the Romans going man, Super Milk Chan fucking blows.
How are we gonna make ourselves feel better? Let's have an orgy.
Let's have hate sex.
Yeah. Throw some blood on it.
Not
That'll
hate
make it
for each
better.
other, hate for this anime.
Yeah.
Right.
Aww.
So final verdict, don't waste your time with it. I'm
No,
not gonna
really
watch
don't.
any more of this.
It's not even worth laughs. Just terrible. Just no. Done. That's
Oh.
it.
Maybe I'm uncultured swine, maybe I'm right, who knows?
I will just
I'm-
accept being the uncultured swine and say it was shit and I hated it, so.
I'm pretty sure you're both right, so don't worry about being uncultured.
Well, it's funny because
That's
on
not about what
YouTube,
the internet thinks about it.
I looked at a lot of, there were comments of people being like, oh my god, I love this.
Maybe it's subjective.
maybe in people with
It
certain
depends on your
humor, I
type of
think it's
humor.
great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did not like that at all.
No.
Aw.
Strange.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. So thanks,
Let's
Veda.
talk about
You're
the
welcome.
good anime quotes.
We will.
Oh,
So, moving on to Gintama. Me and Becca both watched that.
no.
I don't know why I keep picking action parody shows, but I do. So, Gintama, I'll just do a brief description here. The story is set in the late Edo period. Humanity is attacked by aliens called Amanto. The samurai of Japan join the battle against the aliens, but when the shogun realizes the power of aliens, he betrays the samurai and surrenders to the aliens. The plot is focused on an eccentric samurai, Gintoki Sakata, who helps a teenager named Shinpachi Shimura save his sister Tei from a group of aliens who want to make her part of a brothel. That is the description.
Yeah.
It's kind of right.
High legs, sucky, sucky heaven.
Yeah. That was weird.
It was super weird.
So, yes, we'll start with just initial thoughts. Becca, do you want to? Or no, wait, I'll go first because
Yeah,
I didn't-
you
I
go
didn't
first. You go
hate it.
first.
so this anime is it relies a lot on like fourth wall jokes, and it's very self-aware comedy. And there is a bunch of reference humor in it as well. So there was stuff where they would say, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a reference I don't understand, or if it's just a really bad joke. I'm not sure.
These puns are horrible.
Yeah, some of them are kind of awful, but it's not terrible. And the humor is like extremely random. Like, I don't mean like there's random jokes that come in. I mean like there isn't really a joke. It's just sort of like
there's no flow.
Something happens and then that's the joke. It's just really, really random. But that being said, I didn't actually hate it. I kind of liked it. I'll leave it there.
Fair enough. My initial thoughts about this anime are that watching it was comparable to having to work at high leg sucky sucky heaven. Occasionally,
sucky heaven.
Yes, it was. Yes,
the sub or the dub.
I watched the sub, and when they were like high leg sucky sucky heaven, I was like, the sucky sucky definitely tells me that that's not just like a strip joint. There's definitely some stuff going on. That's a dirty place to be. Anyway, watching this anime was like working there. I'm sure you have your good days, but most days you're like, oh fuck, not this again.
I don't know if it was sucky sucky, but yeah.
It was sucky sucky. I just finished it.
I don't believe you.
Okay, well you can go back. Maybe I'm wrong. It happens. But until you prove it wrong, I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
Yep.
I will look that up for later.
Okay. I almost screen capped it because I thought it was so funny and like so blatantly like obvious what was going on, and then I was like, nah, everyone will take my word for it. And then you showed up, Veda.
I'm sorry. I remember it being different. So
maybe it was. I always question the subs that I find, because sometimes
they can make a big difference.
Yeah, and sometimes it just feels like the subs aren't quite right, but I don't really have the desire to go and like compare 5 different websites subtitles. I just go with the one I find first. So, yeah. And I actually did put a lot of effort into finding this fucking show. I watched it on like 3 different sites by the time it was done. So,
why?
Because the first one I was watching it on, the video quality was not great. I was on like Go Anime, and the quality was really shitty, and I was like, well, I can't even tell if the art is any good because it's all so pixelated that like I feel like I'm doing it a disservice by watching it at such low quality. And I try to make an effort. Like, I don't automatically go in and like decide beforehand that I hate the show. So I tried to give it like a bit of effort, and
it's okay.
This wasn't my favorite anime.
Becca cares.
That's okay.
Hashtag Becca cares.
They don't all have to be your favorite anime.
They don't. I can't believe you did this to me, Veda. I thought we were friends.
I didn't find
Veda,
it, though.
Were you on your shit list this week, or what?
I don't know. I felt like being mean. I could have picked better ones, but I was like, no. Well, the whole thing started, I was talking to Becca, and I mentioned Super Milk Chan, and she was like, oh, I've heard of that, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna use it now.
Maybe I brought this on myself. I thought that was great when she picked it, because that's like the epitome of like a shitty anime without even like with my back knowledge of it. Anyway, it's fine. Maybe Gintama is the karma for me like urging you to pick Super Milk Chan. Are you happy?
No, sure.
I got what I had coming to me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go through, I don't know, other comments that I had about the show, I guess. The whole thing, like the characters and the setup and the plot all seems like you've seen it before again.
So typical. Okay.
Hang on, I'll just finish
right here. Go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
I was just gonna be like, because like
typical of.
Gintoki is the main character, and he's basically like every main character in like a comedy series almost. It's just a lazy, like straight-faced idiot.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's always hungry. Everybody's yelling at everybody.
Yeah.
There's like the wacky.
There's like Shinpachi, which is his like the teenager kid, and he's like the average dude who gets pushed over.
So it's the average guy, and then there's the pervert who hits all the girls, and then there's the nerd. And
exactly. Yeah. It's all the same character types you've already seen before, and like they're not terribly done. They're just you've seen them before.
It's so boring.
I know. Like going from the intro though, it does kind of look like they'll be getting into like deeper stuff later on, so maybe it's worth continuing watching. The one thing that kind of weirded me out was in the first episode, which is like a 1 hour special. They have this narrator who shows up. Do you remember that?
I don't know what
at the beginning of the episode, like every time they introduce a character, it like freezes.
Yeah, it kind of says
and then
like who
their
the
name
people
shows
are.
up on the bottom of the screen, and he just is like, "This is this person, and they're this blah blah blah,"
Yeah.
and then it like goes back to animation. And you're like, "Why was that necessary?"
That drove me a little bit crazy. That's one of my issues with this. Like pretty much everything that Leah and Liam had to say about Super Milk Chan, I kind of have to say about Gintama.
Really?
Well, not like everything they have to say about Super Milk Chan, but a little bit, yeah. I hate being the negative Nancy. I really prefer coming in and being like, this anime was great! But,
Does that ever happen?
That's happened
on
a
this
couple
show?
times. I've said that a couple times. Not very often, but I don't know.
And then you loved Shinsekai Yori, and then it ended up being not that great.
Well,
which is
it just
sad.
like it went in a
Yeah.
weird direction that I wasn't expecting. I don't want to like keep interrupting you, Veda, so I'll let you finish up what you have to say first.
That was like I was
Okay.
just gonna mention that narrator thing for the
Yeah.
first part.
Yeah, the narrator thing felt kind of like what Liam said about Super Milk Chan. It kind of felt like the anime was trying to be really clever, but it wasn't really clever. Like they think they're smarter than they actually are. And I know that's probably going to piss off so many people because this anime has been going for, it's like at the 300s or so right now.
It's really long.
It's a really long old anime, and it's obviously Shonen Jump. Not just, I know that the versions I watched, or the episodes I watched, had like a very early, just a really quick thing about how like they're doing a crossover with Bleach. So I was like,
was there a crossover with Bleach?
I'm assuming so because they advertised it at the beginning of both the episodes I watched.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember because like at one point he mentions a Bankai, and that was the only reference to Bleach that I remember.
I don't know what a Bankai is.
It's If you've
I know
read
what a
Bleach
Bankai
or seen
is.
it, you know what it is.
Okay. Yeah,
think,
so that's like what it felt like. There's a lot of reference humor and stuff like that. It kept reminding me of other shows that I've either watched like personally or that we've already watched through the podcast. So it reminded me a lot of Naruto. Because everybody's so like stereotyped and like
That way why so many people love this anime, because people are crazy for Naruto.
well
Beyond
maybe.
my comprehension.
Yeah. So just everybody's got their own little niche, everybody's their own little stereotype, and everything's weird. It reminded me a bit of Excel Saga, because there's that weird, like, alien aspect to it, and, like, rewriting history. Everybody's fucking yelling at each other all the time. Like, somebody says one thing that angers somebody, the other person turns around and, like, tears a strip out of their ass. Like, that got on my nerves really quickly, because I was like, okay,
They scream a lot for no reason.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't understand why everyone's screaming, but I feel like it's uncalled for.
There's also, going with Naruto too, there was like that weird, there was kind of a mix between, they had half of the city was like old feudal Japan,
Yeah,
and then the other
yeah.
half was like the sci-fi alien city, and you're like, hey, they never explain why half of it is not
Like,
alien.
I think that's probably part of, like, the aliens coming down and kind of taking over the city. They
Yeah.
are kind of spreading out. That was kind of what I wrote it off as.
That's kind of,
It reminded, the show reminded me a bit of Cowboy Bebop, because the main storyline is that Gintoki
is the main character.
Yeah, Gintoki and his buddies are like basically to hire. They'll do any job needed because they don't make a lot of money and they need to be able to eat, so they'll do whatever they can to make some money. And the minute they said that, I was like, I could be watching Cowboy Bebop right now.
Yes.
And life would be better.
and then it reminded me a little bit of Rurouni Kenshin. That was kind of the vibe
I got that vibe
from
too.
Gintoki. It just made me think of a whole bunch of other animes that I've seen, and I was like, I'd rather be watching those animes than watching this anime. And then because it is Shonen Jump, I just, like I said, I'd like to give everything the benefit of a doubt, but the minute I see Shonen Jumps connected, I'm like, I don't think this anime is for me. It feels more like it's for, like, teenage boys that are just getting into it.
Well, that's because that's what Shonen Jump is.
Yeah. So, and they even make a reference to Shonen Jump in the one part. Gintoki's, like, looking at a Shonen Jump magazine, and he's like, I don't understand. I start reading Shonen Jump that I can never put it down. And I was like...
They make a couple references.
Yeah.
And then, like, it looks like the 4th episode has something else to do with Shonen Jump. Like, I don't know, it was something like, yo, sometimes Shonen Jump comes out on Saturday, or something weird like that. That was the title of the 4th episode.
Yeah, so, I don't know, it feels like...
Advertising.
Yeah, a little bit.
Buy our magazine!
But then, sorry,
no, go ahead.
had like a ton of Pizza Hut stuff.
But at least it's pizza, and everyone loves pizza. You can advertise pizza.
Yeah, but like Code
That's
Geass,
fair.
there's like ridiculous amounts of Pizza Hut advertising. Like they're advertising like the bite-sized crust things. Like
It's true, but you know what?
Weird.
And then,
Code Geass was so good, it could advertise whatever the hell it wants.
this is true.
and that might be what people think about Gintama as well, or they're like,
Yeah.
this is just so good, I don't care if it's shoving Shonen Jump down my
Yeah,
throat.
no, I didn't have an issue with it, like having it show up in the show. I just thought it was funny, like, it was a meta comment on itself, like, he's reading the magazine that his anime's based on, like...
They liked doing that whole fourth wall kind of thing,
the
where they were
fourth
just
wall.
like, I'm in an anime right now, and you're like, oh, really?
Yeah, and the meta comments, and the, like, this episode's going to be about this, and then it is about this, the very first episode where he's fighting the other guy. Fuck, I can't even... I seriously just watched this before we podcasted, and I don't remember anybody's names.
It's okay.
Like, it just, so many,
Guy
like...
with the staff?
Yeah, the guy with the staff that, like... Oh, fuck, I don't even want to get into it. It just felt like there was a lot of, like, very obvious, like, callbacks and, like, references and, like, tongue-in-cheek winking, and I'm very particular about what kind of tongue-in-cheek winking I will accept.
Okay.
That sounds like it could be very inappropriate.
Well, like,
Wink.
Wow.
like high leg sucky heaven. I was like, it's very obvious what's happening. It's just, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what it was.
I'm gonna fucking look it up, man, because I am so certain. Like, I had to do a double take when I saw it, and it just, yeah, it was just, I don't know. I really would prefer to show up and be like, this anime was great, but it kind of wasn't. And not for me.
It's okay.
It wasn't for me. I'm sure, there has to be people that really enjoy this kind of anime, and I wonder if it isn't one of those, like, once you've watched the first 100 episodes, you're like, well, I may as well watch the last 300, because I'm already this far in, like, I don't know.
Well, I have read, like, I was reading comments on stuff, and people seem to do, like, people do seem to enjoy it a lot, so...
Yeah. And maybe
the
just,
4 of us just aren't into that kind of humor.
Yeah, maybe we're
It's very-
humorless. Maybe we're humorless sacks of gas. High legs.
Or we only appreciate
wait.
crude humor.
Yeah.
Totally not important comment at all, but did you notice the total ripoff of the Imperial March song when the
Yes.
bad guys took off in their little
Yes.
red spaceship?
I was like, it's Star Wars!
And then the guy shows up and he's like, I brought a lightsaber, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, I thought that was
What are they
hilarious,
doing?
too.
Is it maybe a show that people like it just for the references? Like, does it reference a lot of stuff?
Yeah, it's really...
That's the thing.
Well, it felt really reference heavy to me, but maybe that's because, like, every single thing that happened, I was like, there's a better anime about this elsewhere. Yeah.
That's, yeah. There wasn't, like, a ton of specific references that I personally remember, but then I don't know as much as, like, a Japanese person would, so they might be like, oh, I get more of these references, and I'm like, I know what Star Wars is. Woo.
I know what Star Wars is, too. Okay, yeah, there's definitely comments on the internet that are like, ha ha ha, high leg, sucky heaven. So I'm not the only crazy person that saw that. Although, once again, maybe that was the subtitles and maybe they were inaccurate. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna claim I'm exactly right, just in case. Covering my ass.
Okay, there.
Yep.
Might have been the subtitles I had to. Might not have said that.
Maybe. Maybe. You missed out on an awesome moment of being like, buh?
I did. I thought it was something... No, it wasn't... I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Do you guys have any final words on this?
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
I think, while Veda's getting her thoughts together, I think that the concept is actually really interesting. Like, the aliens come down right in the Edo period, which historically I believe is when the samurais were losing their swords anyway. So, there's this whole thing about how the aliens are taking everyone's swords away and you're not allowed to have a sword anymore. So it's kind of like they're...
So the aliens are just a metaphor for America?
Well, no, I think they're basically kind of like rewriting history, which is kind of neat. You know what, it might be exactly that, Liam, because they are pretty...
They're aliens.
Yeah, and the Japanese can be racist at times.
I did not think about that.
Liam just got
Look at me,
deep.
so
That's
smart.
really deep.
I took it more as like rewriting history. I didn't even think about the connection with the Americans. So
Me neither.
thank you for
Wow.
pointing that out, Liam. But I thought that was an interesting concept, and I was like, that might be interesting, and this might get better down the road when it's more character centered than like jokey centered. It just felt a little obnoxious and over the top, and for me specifically, those are my thoughts on it. I would give this like a solid 4 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Personally, I like didn't mind the references or whatever, and I mean it is a little bit kind of juvenile at times, but I feel like it gets better later on. I just have this like feeling that it does. I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah.
I feel like with that many episodes, it
Has
must.
to get good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even in like the intro, there are all these like little snippets of dramatic scenes, and I'm like, I wonder when it starts getting dramatic, because like the first couple are definitely not.
That's one thing I really liked their intro music. It was such like a poppy, happy song. I was like, yeah, I'm good with this. Da 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 da. And I watched the intro both times.
Yeah, me too.
That was one thing I forgot to mention. That you know how in Naruto there's the one episode that like centers around Naruto having to like poop because he drank milk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gintama has a similar issue, not as heavily played, but it's vomiting rather than pooping. And that
But it wasn't the whole episode.
it wasn't the whole episode, but I was just like, gee, where have I seen this before?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's sort of like an average show. I think I would put it there.
Yeah.
It's not amazing and it's not horrible. And if it's your cup of tea, you will really like it. But if it's not, you'll kind of just pass.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
And it's like the characters are likable enough, even if they've been done before. And like the animation is fine. It's not beautiful, but I mean it's an older anime, so it's like everything looks good.
Yeah, it looks aged, but it doesn't look bad for how old it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like a show and jump show.
It does, actually. And as I wrote here, I was like, it's a show you don't always have to pay 100% attention to, but it should hold your attention at least when you decide to pay attention.
That's
kind
a good
of
way
thing.
to put
Like,
it.
yeah, it's kind of good background show, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So, as for if I would keep watching, I think I would watch a little bit more just to see what happened.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't, I would obviously, not put it as a priority on my list.
I
feel like my problem with shows like this, and it's the same thing as One Piece, I'll never start them if I know there's literally already 300 episodes.
Yeah, that's something that I had kicking around in my mind, too.
And it's always more of the, satire animes that are that long.
Yeah.
Unless you're, Bleach, but oh my god, I can't. Just can't.
Yeah. But even, Inuyasha, I got to, 200 episodes on that, and then just stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't think... How many does Inuyasha have? We've had this discussion before, and I never remember.
Has
250, 260?
Mm-hmm. It's still, a hefty enough amount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. The minute I find out a show is, more than 26 episodes, even 26 episodes sometimes, I'm like, that's an awful lot of a show to watch.
It is a struggle.
Yeah.
26 is usually, I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, and 26 is, but the minute it's 100, I'm like, that's too much.
Inuyasha has 167 episodes.
Really?
Wait, I thought there was 200.
That's less than I was expecting.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Maybe 200 was a different show. Anyway.
Maybe I'm gonna have to go back to Inuyasha.
Don't do it, man.
Oh, I miss the angsty brother fights, though.
Just watch, the first season, and then, the final act, and then you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Or just watch the movies.
All you need.
The movies aren't bad.
I do own all the movies, actually.
I have owned 4 of them. The first 4. How many English movies?
I think there is 4
I thought that was only...
movies.
Yeah, I have 4 as well.
Okay.
I've never
Inuyasha,
seen it.
I'm fine with that.
It's a love-hate thing for me.
Kagome!
Lord the chivalry.
Oh, that's one thing I'm starting to notice.
Yeah.
How many more characters? I'm gonna start like doing a shot every time a character shows up that's named Kaguya.
Yes.
I'm gonna start doing shots.
Sakura.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking wasted all the time.
Well, Sakura's like a really popular name.
I know.
So.
Apparently, so's Kaguya.
Pretty, but...
It's like
Apparently.
it's like what's a really called like a Stephanie or a Jennifer. There's so many Jennifers in the world.
It's true.
There's nothing wrong with the name
Like, there's
Jennifer.
lots
Everyone
of
has a friend
sexuals.
named Jennifer.
Yeah.
Or Ashley.
I have
or
3.
Emily.
Yeah. They're just more common names, that's all. There's nothing wrong with them. They're better.
Alright, everyone.
They're better than Rebecca, that's for sure.
Right.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Becca, so did you say you weren't gonna watch it?
Nah, I'm gonna go do something more interesting with my time. Like,
When?
rewatch Death Parade, or
God.
check out that
Yes.
horse
I
racing
could
one.
rewatch that.
Check out that horse racing one that Liam shared with us before we started recording.
No, it's a
'cause
secret.
it's
Alright,
so
okay.
good.
Secret.
Secret.
Okay. So I guess we should move on to the marble polls for
Yeah.
who's gonna watch the animes for this week, which
Yeah.
Leah is picking.
Yes. Huh.
So, Becca, do you have the marbles ready?
Of course I have the marbles ready. I didn't lose them this time. No.
Let's do this.
Alright, who's going first? Veda, do you want to go first? I feel like you
I'll
wanna
go first. Me.
You
me.
got the red marble, you son of a bitch.
Are you kidding?
There's 4 fucking marbles to pick from, and I gave you the red one.
Great.
Ugh.
It'll be fun.
Don't screw it up.
Okay, fine. I'll do better this time.
Well, at least try. That's all you can do.
I'll try.
Well, that was a quick and easy marble pull. Fuck. Who are you gonna take with you, Veda, to the winner's circle?
That's a good point. I don't remember who hasn't seen a bad anime in a while.
Don't take me.
But why not, Becca?
Because
We're so close.
We've talked to each other like the last 3 weeks in a row. I'm tired of you, Veda.
Oh, but I just tortured Liam and Leah.
Yeah, well, that's their problem.
All right.
Becca, you might really like the bad anime this week.
Oh, I probably will. I tend to like whatever's
Only, I don't know what's wrong with me. I completely got our rules mixed up and thought I was going to be watching the bad one this week. But it's
Oh,
fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
whoops.
Oh.
That always trips me up a bit.
Well, I can
mean,
still pick you. Eh?
Honestly, I would, because I kind of want to watch the bad anime, and I've seen the good one that I've picked, because I
Alright.
slept up, so...
Yes.
So...
Do this.
It has been
I see
decided.
Alright.
Lay it on us.
Look at
Okay.
us go. Rules.
The theme is kind of like, action thriller dramas. They both have an R-rated rating
Oh, yes,
on
that
my
means
anime
tits.
list.
Titties.
Sweet
So-
today's.
God.
Alright, I know, I wish you two were watching the bad anime. Becca and Liam.
I just
Aw.
watched a bad one.
Yeah.
No, okay, so I'll start with the bad one first. So this one is going to be interesting because it's another one of those animes that's got, like, it's either, like, rated at a 10 or it's rated, like, a 2.
Mm.
So it's going to kind of depend, like, I think just kind of like how you feel about it. So, Veda, we're watching Gantz.
I've heard of
I've
Gantz.
Yes.
Heard of that show.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that one of, like, the very original Death Game animes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So,
love
That's the
Okay.
bad one.
yeah, so I'll read the description and you might, just okay. So,
Let's go with.
you thought your life was bad. Sometimes death is worse. There's no salvation, peace, nor God waiting to receive you into their care. But wait, a God? Maybe you're talking about that big black ball stuck in the room with you. Now you're thrown into a game, fighting green aliens and robot monsters for the chance to survive.
Oh.
When Kei Kuruno is killed, he thus finds himself caught in such a game, a test of his skills, morals, and will to survive. His life is not his own. His death is spat and trampled upon over and over again. What happens if he does not listen? God knows. A word of warning, Gantz is not for the fair-hearted, but neither is it as simple as it looks. Gore, rape, violence is rampant, as are portrayals of greed, violence, and all the ugliness that one sees in society today.
Mm.
So,
Excited.
from what I have kind of seen on reviews, I think it's just a lot of people find it too much.
yeah.
And that's why it's
Too
like...
much gore.
too much, just I think like everything, like it's just really extreme in all of its themes, so we'll see.
Cool.
We'll see.
Interesting.
Alright, so Liam and Becca, you are watching Phantom, Requiem
Ooh.
for the Phantom.
Ooh.
So the description for this is, mafia is rife in America where assassinations are a regular occurrence on the streets. Inferno, a mysterious company, is behind most of these dealings through their use of their near invincible human weapon, Phantom. However, one day a Japanese tourist accidentally witnesses Phantom's latest murder. Desperate to escape, he hides in a secluded building. However, the Phantom, who is revealed to be a young woman named Ayn, is the leader of the Inferno group, assassins, whatever. Anyway, they capture him and they brainwash him. They give him the name of Zwei, who was once a peaceful tourist and is now a puppet of Inferno with no memories. Drawn into a world of lies, deceit, and violence, he must fight to survive, hopefully to one day regain his memories and escape to the world he's constantly, almost being killed in.
Why,
Yeah.
why
Cool.
is it always why? Like, why always German number 2?
I don't know. Maybe it's
I've
symbolic.
seen that in, like, at least 3 animes, and I have no idea why it's so significant.
Because German number 1 is always a failure.
Nobody wants to
No
be
one wants
Eins.
to be number 1.
Well,
He's
isn't-
not in
doesn't
Germany.
Asuka pilot Ava Unit 2?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's your answer right there.
The answer is Asuka. There we go. That's it, everybody.
I'm glad Liam figured it out for us.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, that's what we're watching, so we'll find out.
Cool beans.
Sweetness.
I promise no, stupidity this week. It's gonna be all, death
Well,
and
I'm
drama.
sorry.
I better see some titties, is all I'm
Pick
gonna
stupid
say.
anime.
We're not here for humor, we're here for death and crying.
Whatever.
And titties.
And titties, yeah.
Maybe
Well,
titties.
I have seen this anime, Liam, and you may or may not see titties.
Aw,
Okay.
that better be a promise.
So,
May or may not see.
ironically enough, it's because I bought Phantom not long ago when I was watching it, and there was a commercial
Yeah,
for Guns on it, so I was like, oh.
Oh, perfect.
they go together perfectly.
Yeah.
They do.
Alright.
Alright.
That's it.
Thank you guys for listening.
Comment,
Don't forget
like, share.
Please comment, yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
check out our Facebook page if you want, or if you have Facebook, or I don't know.
Not if you
Talk
want,
to
just
us.
do it.
We're here to chat.
Subscribe to us on Podbean, iTunes, anywhere that you'd like. We really love seeing those downloads come up.
Podbean's the best, though.
Yeah, Podbean's the
Yeah.
best because we're paying them to be there.
And they're just generally nice.
Yeah. We would love to see comments, reviews, ranty messages telling us how wrong we are.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Give
are,
us some
We'll
feedback.
even take
Yeah.
those.
yeah, give me it. Give it to me.
Positive, negative, it's all good.
Yeah. Give me your worst shit, Internet. I can probably take it.
And if not, we'll bitch about it when you can't hear us.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
We do like to cry
Alright.
in the corner.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.